your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
With another Fox 43 and YouTube exclusive video here on the Locked On Eagles podcast. I'm Louis DiBiase. The Philadelphia Eagles have clinched the playoffs in the NFC for the fourth time in the last 5 seasons at 9-7 now. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, their first time as quarterback and head coach full-time of the Birds, have punched their ticket into the wild card round. They did it despite starting the season at 2-5, winning 7 of their final 9 games. When all felt like the season was lost, this team found a way yet again. For the third time in 4 years, this Eagles team has dug themselves out of an early season hole late in the year, essentially running the table to clinch a playoff berth. And that's what I want to talk about today, is the insane amount of adversity this Eagles team year after year continues to battle through. And in the end, they keep coming out on top. And it is truly miraculous. Just like in 2018, just like in 2019, the Eagles found themselves in a hole where they had to win 3-4+ games to win the division or clinch a wild card spot. Odds that seemed completely stacked against them, an improbable run. And this team has now done that 3 times in 4 seasons. And this time, the Eagles did it more consistently than in 2018 or 2019, because not only did they win 4 games down the stretch, but they also went 7-2 in their final 9 games. The fact that this Eagles team, and it's a new era, it's a new regime, but there's a lot of the same pieces from those other runs. The fact that, and it's just as impressive for the new guys, the fact that they are able to do this over and over again when it seems like it's impossible is truly incredible. And I don't think those runs are seen enough in the impressive light they should be. I think when people look back at 2018, 2019, not as much 2021, I think the Eagles have exceeded expectations in 2021, but I think because of the expectations after Super Bowl 52, that 2018 and 2019, despite those improbable runs, are seen as disappointing years, because I think people feel like, and this is totally warranted, I think people expected those teams to not have to deal with needing 4 wins in a row to have a chance at making the playoffs, that it should have been a whole lot easier, which I totally understand. But at the same time, what they were able to do in those seasons, what the Eagles were able to do at the second half of the 2021 season is truly remarkable. But is it really surprising? That's a different question, because honestly, it probably shouldn't be. Considering the core of the players still here from the 2017 run, where, yeah, they won the Super Bowl and they were the 1 seed, but they had to overcome a lot in 2017 as well, losing your starting quarterback, your left tackle, your top running back that was a punt returner in Darren Sproles. You lost your middle linebacker in Jordan Hicks, as I mentioned, Carson Wentz, Jason Peters. The 2017 Eagles had to overcome a lot as well. 2018, 2019, a lot of those players that are battle tested, that were through those journeys, are still with this football team, right? Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. You look at, Dallas Goedert was a part of the 2018 and 2019 run. So was Miles Sanders, Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, Roddy McLeod. A lot of those pieces are still here and know what it takes to get through those moments of trial and tribulation. Jeff Stoutland as well, the offensive coordinator. Howie Roseman, the general manager. This team knows how to get out of a hole, even a hole that they dug themselves into. But it's not just them. Like, look at your head coach and quarterback, for example, of the individual adversities that these players have gone through. Like, Nick Sirianni has been on both teams in NFL history with a first-time head coach that took their team from 2-5 to start the year to the playoffs. Sirianni was the offensive coordinator in 2018 when Frank Reich was able to do that in his first year, going from the Eagles OC to the Colts head coach. And then Sirianni himself did it in 2021. And look at all the scrutiny that Sirianni went through the first month of being the Eagles head coach. With that first press conference, he got a lot of criticism. The Eagles got a lot of criticism for that hire. So Sirianni is no stranger to overcoming adversity. Jalen Hurts, your starting quarterback, after bringing Alabama to back-to-back national championships, he was benched for Tua Tagovailoa. This guy knows what it's like to lose his job. He knows what it's like to have to overcome adversity. The next year, when his name is called, he wins the SEC championship game and puts Bama back in the national title. The veterans have dealt with it too. I mean, the guys that I'm talking about that were part of those improbable runs a few years ago, they've dealt with their own issues as well personally. I mean, look at Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson's mental health issues he's had to overcome, the ankle injuries the last few years that have made him just not the player that he is now that he's healthy and was able to overcome those. Jason Kelsey talked about it in a speech to the team 2 weeks ago that he was left for dead in 2016. There were talks that maybe Isaac Seumalo in his second year would be the center and Jason Kelsey would get cut or traded. This is on defense as well. Like, this whole team is, to quote Jason Kelsey in the Super Bowl parade, is a team of underdogs still. I mean, Rodney McLeod, he has gone through some serious ligament injuries in 2018, in 2020. He has dealt with a ton of serious issues. And look what he's been able to overcome: interceptions in back-to-back weeks that helped win the game for the Eagles and put them in the playoffs. These linebackers, nobody wanted TJ Edwards. He was undrafted. Alex Singleton was playing in the CFL a few years ago. Josh Sweat leads the Eagles in sacks. He was a fourth-round pick in 2018. He wasn't seen as a day one or day two pick. Fletcher Cox, how many times this year do people say Fletcher Cox doesn't have it anymore? That he should probably be traded, that he's not the player he once was for this team. This team continues to carry that underdog mentality, and they continue to overcome the adversity that kind of a lot of the time gives them those labels, not from themselves, but from, the media and fans and other teams. They continue to carry that chip on their shoulder, and it's powerful when so many people feel that they need to prove the world wrong, and you put all of those guys together, it can be truly powerful, and you have seen that in the last 5 seasons. The only time they really have not been able to overcome it is last year in 2020. Hats off to this team. The Eagles are truly built for adversity. Maybe when Doug Peterson said, get used to the new norm after winning the championship in 2017, maybe the new norm wasn't being a powerhouse in the NFL. Of course, that's what you want them to be. But maybe the new norm was just overcoming tough odds, overcoming obstacles as a team, and elevating. Maybe that's what the new norm is the adversity era for the Philadelphia Eagles. They've overcome it again, and they're headed to the playoffs in 2021. I'm Louis DiBiase for Locked On Eagles and Fox 43.